It's Mental Health Month, and I think that means it's probably a good time for me to just share a bit about my mental health journey that I've been on for the last, well, probably my entire life, but intensively now for just about 24 months. I grew up, there was shit. There was piles of shit in my growing up, and I never really processed it. I just went on with my life and I packed it in and I didn't handle it. And I kept going and going. I committed myself to work and I didn't create space for these things to come up. Okay, so then I decided I was going to go into nutrition and I was going to help people. And I started a business and I quit my day job. And all of a sudden there was all this brain space for trauma and all those unprocessed emotions to just come barreling back to the surface, bubbling up one after another, more than I could handle. Over the course of about 6 months, my mental health just went down. It went down. And with it went, how I fed my body. I started making worse and worse food choices. And then I went vegan because in my schooling that I was doing, they said maybe vegan might be a good answer. I did it all right. I followed the rules. I tracked every macro to make sure that I had every amino acid I needed and every fat that I needed according to minimum daily requirements, which are not enough to thrive, just so you know. Anyways, my brain then imploded on itself and I went into a really dark depression and I wasn't the mom that I wanted to be. My business had crashed because I stopped trying. I finished with my clients and I never looked for more. My husband and I were fighting because he's like, you quit your job. This was not the agreement. And then I had to figure out how to heal because I couldn't stay the way I was. And so number one, I went and I found help. I found a really great therapist who would do EMDR with me. And we started reprocessing some of those really big traumas that were really weighing me down. I also did some plant medicine, which was really amazing. And a whole other story that maybe if you're interested, I can talk about. And then the last thing that I did was this was part of my program. There was a couple books. This one's like the easiest to read, but I started implementing the things in that book because I had learned that through my not eating well and probably going vegan, I had become very deficient in things that I needed for my body to make happy hormones and happy neurotransmitters. So I started doing that and then my life started coming back together. So I started implementing that book and I did a very targeted round of supplementation to give my body the resources it needed to start making happy hormones. And then the difference was so quickly. Within 30 days, my anxiety and my depression was gone. I was motivated to get back to work on my schooling. And my husband, amazing. When we started fighting before he realized how bad it was in here, and what an amazing man. He supported me through this healing journey and he did whatever it took to help me become well. And now I'm more well than I've ever been really in my entire life. And I'm committed to continuing to do those things because it allows me to be a better mom and a better wife and have more fun. So anyways, I went on this journey. We finished school and then I said, then it was time to restart my business. And here I am. And it's a really cool thing. I know that there's some things that still impact my ability to stay well. I know that I have digestive imbalances for sure that are things that I'm continuing to work on because very quickly when I don't eat well, the anxiety comes back, the depression starts to creep in. So I know a lot of what goes on with me is food related and I can feel that. It's interesting because I've done a lot of work to heal the trauma of the past, but I'm still having to deal with the low mood and those things when I don't eat properly for my body. And so if you saw my other videos, you saw I just came off of 2 weeks of not doing the things that work for my body and having anxiety come in again and feeling a lower motivation and knowing that those are all things within my control. And so I can change how I feel very quickly by what I choose to put in my body. And this is why talking about the power of nutrition and mental health is so important to me, because I want women and men, whoever's watching this, to realize that they have so much power over how they feel. And if you're struggling to make those good choices, I get it, because you don't have the resources for the motivation. And so if you're looking to just figure that out, either grab this book, or, you know what, meet me in the DMs and we can chat about how we can do some targeted supplementation to get you back to feeling motivated and excited to improve your health, because that's going to be step number one. As long as you're feeling defeated before you even start, how are you going to start? And over again, that's something that I came up against. And anyways, just know that you're not alone. Know that there's an answer. And if you need support, I'm here to help.